What's up, everyone? Welcome to Three Chicks in a Pod. I am Megan Price. On the bottom, we got Kari Johnson. And to my left, we got Jenn Lewis. What's up, ladies?
Hello.
How's y'all's week going?
Crazy because it's a holiday for everybody else. Had a holiday yesterday. I worked, so it doesn't feel like a different week other than just workflow.
So I shouldn't tell you guys that I had a really nice long weekend and I took Friday off and had a 4-day weekend.
That's awesome.
I had a stressful few days, so I hope that this weekend that I can get a little bit of time off.
Right. I'm glad that it's come out clearing up right now.
Yes, definitely. So we are entering week 1 of the NFL. Are y'all excited?
Woohoo!
Oh my gosh!
No, I'm mad at you girls.
Oh, I know, because we did not pick. I didn't pick our team.
Y'all picked Atlanta.
Oh no, I picked them for the bottom 5.
Y'all picked Atlanta.
But you want that. You want that because you don't want Matt Rule, right?
It was for the first 5 games.
But I think Baker Mayfield's going to go off against the Browns because he has a reason to this week. So I feel like you guys are taking the win.
I'm fine with us winning week 1. I just don't want to win the first 5 games. Does that make sense?
Because you want him to get fired during the season.
Yeah, and the reason why, before I start getting hate, is because I want the betterment for my team. And it's not.
When did y'all sign him to the 6-year deal? Like, how many years do y'all have left on that deal?
A 7-year deal, 3 years. This is the 3rd season.
Oh, it's y'all have to pay him
$1 million. It's a million-year season and only in year 1.
Policy.
What'd you say, Jen?
Tepper needs to start focusing in on a little economic term called sunk cost fallacy, which my husband completely reminded me of. And that's my father-in-law, everybody. And
this one gets
and that's because when I was at the Bills game, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I know it's preseason. I know the jam, but that stadium, I was a little sad.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if there's anything of an omen here, okay, the Bears won every single one of their preseason games, but they're not going to win. They might go 0-16. They have a chance to go, or 0-17, excuse me. So, I mean, y'all losing a few games or winning a few preseason games, I think, there is some room for you guys to win some games, but I don't anticipate y'all being above mediocre.
A big season contender.
No, I'm sorry, Jen. All right, so with that though, let's talk about our matchups for our teams in week 1. Cowboys got the Bucks. Who do the Chiefs have, Kari?
We have the Cardinals without D-Hop.
Jen, who do y'all have week 1?
The Browns.
Oh, right, we just said that. Okay, so are y'all playing?
We're playing at home.
Okay, we are playing at home as well. Are y'all playing at home, Kari? No, y'all.
No, we're on the road.
Okay, awesome. All right, which one of you ladies want to start us off?
Let's go with Carolina and the Browns because I think that's going to be a fun game to watch anyway, just because of the background stories that go behind it.
Agreed.
So I was cracking up because somebody said to me that the Browns defense is better than our defense. No, thank you. Anyway, next. Just saying. But
I mean, they have Myles Garrett. They have Myles Garrett, but that's probably the only name that I know on their defensive line.
Right.
Okay, can we put Myles Garrett? Just a pause here. Can we give a set of helmets to Myles Garrett and Arnold or Donald and see what happens?
Darnold's not playing. Darnold's out.
I'm talking about. Well, hold on, I said the wrong one. The Rams guy, Donaldson.
Wrong Darnold. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No. Can we see a matchup with them, both of them having a pair of helmets, and see who beats the snot out of each other?
I would love that, like a celebrity death match, but with helmets. All right, Jen, talk to us about this matchup and why you want them to lose.
Okay, I actually kind of want to win the home opener, just saying.
Right.
But because I'm a fan, right? So I am a fan, so I'm very torn in my thought process. Part of being a fan and a dedicated fan is wanting the best for your team. Matt Rule has shown time and time again he's not the best for my team. He got rid of Keep Pounding. He got rid of our franchise quarterback, who had been injured since 2016. No qualms about it. Not lying. Like, I'm not blind. Like, do I expect him to ever be the same QB as 2015? Absolutely not.
Right.
However, he lied. He's rude. He's literally sat there and told his one specific team, I can't say which section of the team, that he was more focused on his relationship with David Tepper than actually coaching, because his relationship with Tepper was going to keep him in his job because he wants that money. And the only reason why we got Chuba is because his wife wanted him to get him. I still do not believe that Christian McCaffrey was IR'd. He had a rolled ankle. It takes a normal person 2 to 3 weeks to get over any leftover max pain of a rolled ankle. We're talking about an athlete whose body is completely different than ours, and he'll still much more rapid pace than ours. I don't believe it. Like, I really, truly don't. I am glad we did not get Deshaun Watson. I kind of never really wanted Deshaun here. I thought he'd be a good quarterback, but it was gonna tear our fan base apart too much, to be perfectly candid. Why do I want us to win for Baker, because he was lied to too. So for that, I want him to win and beat the Browns. But for the betterment of my team, I want us not to win, because David Tepper kept saying, and this is my friend Sydney Moon, her conspiracy theory, and I totally am on board with it, that and it's true, Tepper kept mentioning, oh, well, Rule won the first 3 games in the past several seasons, blah, blah, blah. Kept bringing it up. So she was like, I bet you he has to win the first 5 games to keep his job for the entire season. And I was like,
that is how you guys started last season. Like, y'all were kind of hot at first. Y'all were one of those teams that
we almost lost to the Jets.
I'm sorry. All right.
But that is why, because I feel so conflicted, because I'm like, win at all costs, and then I'm like, I want us to lose so we can save my team.
Right, yeah. I kind of understand that. Are you done with your Brown?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. I kind of relate, because I hate McCarthy. And I think that this is going to be such a tough season for my quarterback. He doesn't have half the weapons that he had before. He has no protection. Now, our defense is looking pretty good. I think that DeMarcus Lawrence has got to show up. He only played 7 games last season. He was injured the season before that. And even when he was on the field, he was MIA, basically. I think that Dan Quinn set a really good tone at the beginning of last season with our defense when, after a few games, he cut Jalen Smith. And everybody was shocked. You know, we had just paid him. But it was, if you don't produce, you're going to get cut. And we're going to have some people on the field that are going to produce. And we got that out of our draft pick, Micah Parsons, who
most definitely did.
Parsons had 13 sacks last season in his rookie season. So I feel like he's going to be incredibly hungry. I think this is going to be a tough game, though. I mean, we're talking about somebody that is just defied all odds against Father Time, and that's Tom Brady. You know, he's coming back. Mike Evans had 8 seasons in a row with 1,000+ receiving yards. Like, that's huge. So now he's going into possibly season 9. We do have Trayvon Diggs as an answer to Mike Evans, but as much as he does, he's a risk taker. And I saw Jalen Ramsey talking about Trayvon Diggs, and I guess I agreed with what he had to say, that you have to take those kinds of risks when you play the way that he plays. And so, I mean, he had 11 picks to go with that. So yeah, he does get burned in coverage sometimes. So, but he backs it up with the amount of picks that he has. Goodness, the Bucks, they have some good cornerbacks too. So there are some good answers for that as well. And they are already talking about Michael Gallup. And I'm really confused by that because they're saying, oh, he's not available in week 1. I don't anticipate him being available until December, or he shouldn't be available till December because he tore his ACL January 1st. So how is that even possible that he's practicing now? I'm sure it's non-contact practice, but how can y'all sit there and say, oh, he looks good when, I mean, he's maybe halfway through his rehab, or should be halfway through his rehab? I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. CeeDee Lamb was said to have a laceration on his foot and that it was possible that he won't play. I think nothing will keep him off the field come week 1. So, and that'll be Sunday night at 8:20 Eastern. We are going to be in Dallas. Jordan Lewis, though, for us, he had 3 picks last season. We also had Anthony Brown as a cornerback. He had 3 picks as well. I don't trust Anthony Brown. The Bucks added Russell Gage and Julio Jones, both of them from ATL. So I'm interested to see how they're going to work with Tom Brady. Brady hasn't been at the early practices, and so I don't know if week 1 they're going to be gelled just right. So we might be able to catch a win on this one. But Tampa Bay threw more than any other team last year. So our pass defense has definitely got to be on point. And I think the key to our offense is going to have to actually mimic the Browns' run game. We have Zeke and we have Pollard. They're 2 different types of running backs, and I think you capitalize on that. Pollard is able to get you an explosive type of game, whereas Zeke is going to be your workhorse. Hopefully he's able to bounce back this season. Last season was the worst numbers that he'd ever put up, and I'm hoping for him to bounce back. So I have us going 31-27 with Dallas on top, but I absolutely believe that score is interchangeable. The Bucks are a tough team, and it's going to be a tough game. I expect it to be real physical.
And see, that's a game that when I was doing my pick'ems, I had to sit and think and try to decide which one I was going with. Do I give you guys home field advantage, or do I give Brady the nod because it's Brady? Right. But I had the same concerns that Brady set out training, which is, I mean, whatever. He's 40 years old.
He's 44.
So
yeah, he's
44, 45. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
it doesn't bother me. He set it out, but I do think there's a chance that maybe week 1, week 2, he's not just cohesive with the offense just yet.
Right. That's kind of where I'm thinking too, because I'm like, one, there's no script for someone that age in the league. So
right.
Brady can write whatever he wants, but at the same time, that's when that's when those new people gel with your QB. That's when your team starts coming together, and he was a missing piece. So what does that do for team dynamics? That's kind of what I was having to work through in my mind.
But didn't you guys come really close to beating Tampa Bay last year?
Okay, we were a field goal away from they scored a field goal in the very last few seconds of the game. It was tied up. And then they were able to get that field goal. So they beat us by 3 points. And this was a big game for them. This was their first game. This is when, they were able to show that they got that Super Bowl win. So it was a big game for them. And we came in and we were competitive, but we lost half our weapons that Dak had. So whether we're at home or not, I'm still a little nervous about that. But I think that, Dak has been at all the practices and probably every other one in between that wasn't mandatory. Like he's been in the facility. It looks like he's lost a little bit of weight, and that's probably a good thing because he's going to be running for his life with no protection.
Well, I mean, Megan, Dak has to look good in his tuxedo when y'all get married.
Correct. He can look good at the divorce too. It's fine.
I know, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Kari, talk to us about your matchup.
Okay, so here's where we go into Arizona and play against the Cardinals. One, that kind of takes me back to, I still remember them as a St. Louis Cardinals because I was young watching football with Daddy, and it was the St. Louis Cardinals. And so kind of still have that bitterness against the fact that they moved. That's neither here nor there at this point, but I still have, still have that. So it's kind of, to me, it's still like an interstate game, so to speak. So big unknowns for Kansas City, at least for the world. We don't have Hill. Okay. I've heard it a million times. Well, you're not going to do anything because you don't have Hill. I only saw Hill's name on our roster once, and we're a 53-man team.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't think that our entire team pivoted off Hill. If we didn't have Mahomes, now that'd be a different story. But we don't have Hill. Okay. We don't have Honey Badger. We don't have Matthew, and he's now with the Orleans. I get it. That's different. But we've got some young guns that are, we've got Nick Bolton that was last year's defense. My goodness. And he was a rookie last year. We've added some pieces this year that what I watched on preseason and what I've seen in press conferences and such, very impressive to me. I'm interested. I am really glad that they've discounted our defense is not something to be to worry about because that works for our advantage. I'm really happy that they are saying that Hill was the only person that was scoring. Great. We now have Marquise Scantlin. We have Juju. We have Kelsey. We have Sky Moore, who's a rookie that is really fitting in. And we have Nicole Hardman. And so here's the thing is all these gentlemen are now tall enough that Mahomes can see them, and as opposed to just throwing down knowing that Hill will be there because he couldn't see Hill. Hill was short. And that's fine, but that brings, it just opens up. And this summer, the receiving corps was in Texas well before training season started, doing their own stuff with Mahomes. So these men have been working together longer than training camp and such to get gelled. So I think this is going to be really something exciting. And don't forget, we still have CEH, and I'm waiting for him I'm hoping that this year will be a better year for him in the fact that he gets the nods that he deserves. We're going up against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals look really good on paper, except D-Hop's gone, 6 weeks? Is that his suspension?
6 weeks. Okay,
so there's a weapon gone, a strong weapon. Zach Ertz, which incredible tight end, had a great, once he got down there, had some really great play, great season. He's questionable, and so is JJ, questionable. So I think with what we picked up as far as the rookies, we only let one of our drafts from this season, our drafts from this class go. There's only one we didn't re-sign. So that just speaks to the quality that they were able to pick up. And I think that we have a very young defense and even O-line. But I think that's working to our benefit. And I cannot wait to see how this all plays out. Of course, I'm a ride or die. I'm a ride with my team. But I think that it's kind of stacked in our favor because no one knows what offenses we're coming out with. Mm-hmm. We had become predictable. It was either Kelsey or Hill.
Right.
So who is number one receiver? I don't know. Who should they cover more? Who's going to be on the field all along? So with Andy and his ability to be creative and come up with new plays, I think we're going to have, we're going to cause defenses a little bit of a problem like we did when Mahomes took the helm, where no one knew how to cover Mahomes and how to cover all the weapons. I think we're going to be in a similar situation. Do I expect the explosive numbers like we did? No, I don't. I don't know if that's in the scheme of things, but I do expect it to be something. Our offenses to look to be different and totally mess up and play against all the defenses because they don't know what to expect now. Hill's not on the field; they don't have to cover him 2 and 3. So that's my theory on that. And that 50 cents can always buy you a cup of coffee somewhere.
Okay, and Jen, you said you had something you wanted to mention?
We just had some comments, but do we want to bring our guest on first? And then I'll bring,
Sure.
For some reason, they're not showing up. Not sure why.
Do you have it set to public on your page?
I do.
I need to.
Hey.
All right. We got John Shearer on the show with us.
Yeah. So Kari, I wanted to make sure I mentioned Sky Moore because you asked who might be a number 1 receiver, and we cannot forget about what Sky Moore can be. They're thinking that he could be their next Tyreek Hill. He's not there yet because he's behind on the depth chart, but if you don't know Sky Moore,
I know Sky. I'm just saying, I don't know who they're going to be the key. We knew that Hill was we knew that Hill was there. We knew that, and we knew he was number 1, and we knew Kelsey was there too. I just say that Sky, it was really impressed me with what I got to see of him. I just don't think that we know who or what is going to be in that number 1 and number 2. And I don't even think a depth when they release that, I don't think that's even something that you can do because Andy's too creative with his plays that you can count on. Well, this will always be the first person on the field, or this is the one they're going to go to. No, sir, that's not going to happen. That's just like I said, that's my theory. I know that Sky Moore is going to be a nice weapon for us. I just hope, I hope that he doesn't have anything happen to him because, gosh darn it, I don't want, don't want to pin hope on somebody and then something drastic happens.
Right.
I understand that, JC Horn.
Right. Real quick though, before we jump into John's projects, I just wanted to do a quick rundown because we got some WNBA games tonight. And in case you don't know, we're in the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs right now. So 4 teams are left. You got the Chicago Sky playing the Connecticut Sun and the Las Vegas Aces playing the Seattle Storm. So we had game 3 on Sunday night. The Sky was able to come out victorious in a close game, low-scoring game. It was a real physical game. It was 76-72. And then in the other game, we had the Aces come out victorious in overtime, 110-98. And if you got a chance to watch the last few minutes of this game of regulation, there was no way to know exactly how this was going to turn out. And it just ended up that Seattle ran out of gas. Sue Bird hit a 3-pointer that should have won the game for them. But unfortunately, they had a couple of seconds left on the clock. And Vegas was able to go down the court and score and send it to overtime. And they were just completely out of gas. They ended up losing that game 110-98. So excited for those games tonight. If either of the 1 seed or the 2 seeds, so Chicago or Las Vegas, if they win their games tonight, the other teams go home. But if the lower seeds are able to win either one of those games, we will have game 5 on Thursday.
Exciting stuff.
All right, Jen, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, I was just going to read some of the comments because most of them were not showing up for whatever reason. A couple of them are starting to now. And Lewis Tanier asked if anyone can come in. You can comment, obviously, and we may tag you in at some point, but we haven't done that yet. And then Melissa Schatz, I definitely agree. The comment from Melissa was, and I'm reading this just from my Facebook page, guys. Sorry. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. But Melissa Schatz said that she was concerned about the Browns because the Browns know Baker very well. And my concern is Matt Rule only has 3 plays. So it's not that hard.
All right.
And then Candy said that the national stage is set for Sunday night with Tampa Bay versus Dallas, which I agree. And John, what do you think about your team, sir?
About versus the Patriots or season long?
Yeah, versus the
versus
Patriots.
I mean, look, Tua is the only quarterback ever to be undefeated versus Bill Belichick. He's 3-0 versus Bill Belichick. He's never lost. And Miami got significantly better. The Patriots got worse. And the Patriots have a special teams coach, Joe Judge, formerly head coach of the Giants. And then they have Matt Patricia, who was the defensive coordinator a couple years ago in New England. They're sharing offensive coordinator duties, even though they technically do not have a role in regards to that. They're both running the offense. And that spells disaster when you have a special teams coach and a defensive coordinator running the offense. And I mean, we've already seen reporters saying the offense looks like a mess. It looks like a disaster. It doesn't look anywhere near what it was last year. Obviously, Josh McDaniels left for Vegas. So I think we mopped the floor with them. They always have trouble coming down to Miami. We always beat them in Miami. And like I said, Tua's 3-0, and they're really going to lay it on the Patriots. They're going to lay it on the Patriots, and they're going to lay it on thick.
Well, the thing is something about going into your stadium for the Patriots is like their Achilles heel, and that's what I love. The Dolphins under Fitzpatrick, and got to shut them out or beat them when we needed them to beat them. So, yeah.
Well,
Miami is the Achilles heel.
We played you guys a couple years ago. Was that 2 years ago, Kari? And we gave you all kinds of trouble in Miami. If you remember that game, I mean, you ended up coming back to win, but
wasn't that when you guys went out and unplugged all of the CBS trucks and stuff? And
that was where Mahomes took like a 30-yard sack or something like that. And
I think that was like the first two or like 2.5 quarters. It was all you guys, and then we started coming back, and mysteriously, all of the power left, and there was no way to broadcast. Yeah, and then it came back on after the game was over. Yeah, I kind of remember that vaguely.
But that's the point. It's like everybody seems to have trouble when they go to Miami. Like it seems to be when it's super hot. Like nobody seems to know how to play. So I mean, and we seem to have the Patriots number at least in Miami. So I think we mopped the floor with them. That's just me, but I just don't think they're a very good team. Like they've lost a lot of pieces, and I thought they overachieved last year. The 10 wins is not indicative of how mediocre I think this roster is. That's just my opinion.
I'm not a Mac Jones fan. I don't like him whatsoever. I think he was overinflated.
I mean, he's going to be a system quarterback. That's basically what he's going to be. Yeah. And it's not that he's the most talented out of that QB class. Maybe he is, but I mean, he's probably not. It's the fact that he fit into that system really well. So I don't think that Bill Belichick is going to just magically forget how to coach no matter who's running the offense. But I do think that you guys have a good chance to beat them this week, considering I mean, just your history with
right
being in Miami.
And our talent, the talent on the Dolphins, I mean, especially the talent they've acquired, vastly outweighs the talent on the Patriots.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like with all the weapons.
I'm sick about y'all having Cedric Wilson and we got one receiver. We have one receiver and y'all got our.
You decided to keep injured Michael Gallup over Cedric Wilson.
Why?
Well, if you were
for nothing.
John, if you were to listen to everything I've heard, is you've got the entire Chiefs team and we've got the local high school team playing now. So.
Yeah, we seem to love having John.
Welcome to the Carolina Panthers and the Buffalo Bills.
John, you want to talk to us about your projects and just everything that Sideline Sports has going on?
Yeah, I mean, we have so many shows on Sideline Sports, and we have so many great people that do great things. It's not at all about me or Eric or JB or Jake. It's just about the collective team effort. I mean, we've got the Gary Stein and Steven show, of course, 3 Chicks in a Pod, Sports Arena, the Gauntlet. I mean, we've got over 20 shows, and we just keep adding former athletes and folks like that, in addition to all the other people we've added. And if you're not paying attention to sideline sports, like you need to be paying attention because this is like the fastest growing network out there, and we're coming for that top spot. Like, I mean, we started from scratch, and we built what we built, this empire, in 2 years. So, it's like I said, this isn't at all about me. This is about you guys. This is about everybody on this team, on this network. It's about Megan, Kari, Jen, everybody on this team, the amazing things that you guys have done. That's my projects. That's what I'm here to talk about because I love what you guys all do.
And where can everybody find Sideline Sports?
Of course, you can go to our YouTube, Sideline Sports. Sideline Sport 1 is all of our social media handles. And, you always, if you want fantasy advice, Matt is always on there. If you want live tweeting of games, we have that. Like, we have everything covered for you. Stay tuned. We have soccer in the works. It's a little bit of breaking news, but we have soccer, coming up on the network. So if you're a soccer fan, pay attention because we got soccer things in the pipeline. So soccer fans, I know Megan, you and Mike are big soccer fans. So stay tuned for that.
Premier League is in like week 4, so the season just started. So and Champions League is about to start. So it's pretty exciting right now, and the World Cup's coming up too. So.
And then we got Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel as well. Starting
that premieres
Thursday night.
Yep.
Very excited for that. Well, I just want to thank everybody for chiming in on the comments or sharing or liking the show. We appreciate you guys every week. You guys come through and hold the conversation with us. And John, thank you so much for coming on and plugging your shows and chiming in on the NFL debate as well. So we will see you everybody back next week, same time. Good night, y'all.
Good night, John. Bye, guys.